Iconix Radio, and today we have an amazing, awesome guest that's going to knock our socks off, and he can also sing your socks off, guys. The award-winning producer and songwriter, singer, vocalist, arranger, the guy behind the board and the microphone, Mr. Richard Cagle, is here. Now, with decades of experience in music, Richard Cagle continues to leave his mark as a singer, songwriter, and award-winning producer. His latest album, Zia Blues, recorded in the mountains of New Mexico, is a 12-track masterpiece showcasing his vocal variety and a mix of blues styles. Already charting at number 7 on the RMR, the album has captivated fans and critics alike. So with that being said, guys, let's welcome Richard Cagle to Iconix Radio. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me on today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for spinning my record. We do that. We love it.
Well, Richard, all I can say is it definitely has earned more than just 1 to 2 spins. We like to play you all day here on Iconix Radio because you got the blues, baby.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, let's get into your newest project. Let's dive into Zia Blues. How did you come up with the name of that album?
Well, everything out here is Zia. The Zia was created by, the Indians here, the Native Americans. And it was, even our state flag here is Zia. So I'm sitting there, okay, this is my first album to put together out here in New Mexico. Why not? Call it Zia Blues, And my wife actually painted the covers. In fact, Rich, hand me that, would you? Yeah. Let me show you real quick what she painted. Because I said, well, I need a Zia. And I don't want it to be too perfect. I want it to look like it's really just beautiful painting. Can you see that? So that's what she painted that. And then of course we put the lettering and all that. And that's why it's Zia Blues. Yeah, she did a good job.
She did an amazing job. Oh my God. Talk about teamwork coming together and making it happen. Yeah. Wow. When you think of your single, Roadhouse Shuffle, it is definitely a standout, right? What inspired the unique blend of traditional and contemporary blues for you?
Well, as a kid growing up, and in fact, my very first band I was 12 years old. I was with Joe King Carrasco. We lived up in a little town called Dumas, Texas, and we started our very first band. And it wasn't the old black blues players that we respect so much now. We didn't know anything about that. They weren't even hardly on the radio. But it was the English invasion. They loved the blues, like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and all these people. They brought the blues back. And so it was really a radio, kind of like a blues rock. And so that's what I grew up on, Now I still can go back and appreciate Muddy Waters and Lightning Hopkins and all the greats, but we did somewhat of a tribute to them on the latter part of this album whenever we did the two Delta songs at the end, So we just tried.
Oh no, please finish.
No, we're trying to make a more diverse album instead of just a straight blues rock album. So and I think we accomplished that very well.
Yes, you did. Mr. John in Houston, the amazing PR that we all know so well.
He's a great guy.
He is amazing. And he literally praised your body of work. But there's some things that just stand out about you just as a human being. And when you think of how you're keeping the culture, included within the music as well as in New Mexico, I think it really just starts to talk about you, and it speaks volumes about who you are with integrity, right? So Oh, don't no, okay, Mr. Richard, I can see it there. I mean, when I think of when I look at even the collaboration of musicians that you brought together on this project, they're all mentioned. Let's talk about the team and how did you put together so many amazing musicians together on this particular project?
Well, the funny thing about that, I've been wanting to do an album. In fact, we had started to do an album in Houston right before COVID. And
Okay.
then of course COVID knocks everything out for 2 years. And I just went ahead and moved my family here. All right. Because it was safe. It's safe here in this mountain town. It's a beautiful small town. It's only got like 7,000 people here. So we moved up here and of course have a beautiful studio here. In fact, I may even walk it around and show you what it looks like. But it took me, yes, I met a lot of great musicians, but it took me almost this 3 or 4 years to find the ones that play with that much feeling.
Wow.
Because blues, to me, if you can't feel it, what's the point? You're just being like a copy band or something, and that's not what we are. We want you to feel, or I want you to feel what I felt when I wrote it. And if we can accomplish that, and so yes, I did have a lot of players. I had, some of them only played one song or one part on a song or something like that. But I do have a core that was actually that was the foundation, and I called these all of them my angels because they're the one that came and helped me do this. I'll start with. I'll give you an example. Tim Martin, he's blind. He lives in Albuquerque, but he plays with so much feeling. I mean, you'll hear on Hello Sunshine, you'll hear that intro, and that was all just one take. His whole lead was, and it's just got this beautiful flutter that comes right down to it. If you can't feel that, you need to go to the doctor, get them checked.
Somebody call the doctor, please. Okay. I love that. I love that. And when you think of so many legends in blues, you didn't have to just see them in person. You can listen to the music and just get chills in your body.
That is the blues.
That's
That's
the
the blues.
blues.
And it can set you free or it can bring you down because you're already down and you just need to mellow it out and let it cry out or whatever you need to do to get that mind.
I was gonna say, Mr. Richard, sometimes you just gotta cry together and just get it all out with some good blues in you. Now, I love definitely where this amazing interview is going, but I definitely want to dive in a little bit into your performances.
Mhm.
Um, I got a chance to definitely check you out on YouTube and seeing your showmanship and how you just go into so many different levels of letting people know about your music and how you create it. Now, they definitely leave an impact. What do you hope that people will take away from your shows?
Well, the main thing is, of course, I want to hold their attention. All right. I mean, because like everybody's walked into a bar and there's some band over there and they're just so unemotional. They're just playing the number game, like I'm just
Right.
trying to get my $500 or what. And, that's not very impressive.
That's
But
true.
when you got somebody, you got a great guitar player, your drummer, and the whole band is tight. The band has to be so tight that you don't even have to think about it. It's just done. All right.
Mhm.
So then you just like hell. In fact, when we play our shows, we knock out the first three. They introduce us. All right. Well, I'll give you an example. We're playing with Johnny Winters, which I love. I got to play with him twice, and I'm very grateful for that. But the thing is, yeah, we're going to put on a show as good as Johnny. And they introduce us and we hit that first three songs. They're all linked together. We call it the trilogy. And we own the audience right then. They're already going like, who the hell are these guys? Oh my God, I never even heard of this guy. So we walk away with half the crowd being our fans. It's fun.
See? That's amazing. I think that just speaks volumes for you because not only are you just a grand performer who just takes the audience on a road trip, You're also an award-winning producer who's also helped others break into the industry. Let's talk about some of the artists you've got a chance to work with and kicked off their careers.
Well, the first one I helped that really helped kick her off her career was Carolyn Wonderland. And she's a blues artist. All right. And she's still right now, she's on Alligator Records. And I'm just so proud. In fact, that was probably my first producer award. Whenever I knocked out that one. But with her, we helped her not only do her first 2 albums, I actually would help manage her, get her really going good. We got her a publishing deal with Warner Chappell. We had William Morris working with her, you know, and then we actually had a major record company come in and offer a major deal back then. And so those are the kind of things I love to do. It makes me feel good for them too, you know. And then now the other one, Anika Chambers, we did, me and Larry Fulcher. Larry Fulcher is a good friend of mine. He's a bass player for Taj Mahal. And so we came together and we said, let's help her out. So me and Larry did her first 3 albums. The first one leveled the playing field. The second one, she gets her first blues award, all right? And then it just keeps on going. Now she's got a great agent. I think she's over on Vispo. And it's just that she's traveling all over the world. I mean, she literally gets to go play all the festivals in Europe. That's what I want to do. Hope I get that chance this time.
You know, speaking of Europe, Europe really loves the blues.
Yes, they do.
And I heard to the grapevine that they love Texas too.
They do. They do. In fact, on my very first album that I put out, you know, we didn't know what we were doing. Now, of course, we use John Huston on the last couple of albums, and he's such a wonderful PR guy. Anybody need one? I swear from my heart, he's a wonderful guy. Having said that, my first album though, we put out a really good record, but you know, it was just kind of hit and miss, and we did get some airplay and stuff. But I'm sitting there going like, no, it's not like they call you and go like, hey, we were, you know, but a kid called me up and goes like, hey, you know, you're in No Depression magazine, and that was a glossy magazine back then. And I go, no, I don't know. I'm in there for real. Yeah, it's a story about you. And the thing is, I go, well, what's this story about? It's not like they called me and interviewed me. It's a story about how Europe loves Texas blues people and how you're charting in all Denmark, you know, and this and this and this. And you can still go pull it up on YouTube, I think. But I didn't even know. If my friend hadn't told me, I wouldn't even known we would have been in that magazine. But they still love it. And, you know, the last thing I'll add on that one was Larry Fulcher, you know, since we're such good friends, one time we were talking about Europe, you know, and he goes, it's like they're living in the 70s. They love music. They go see music. They buy music. They treat us like we're kings. And I go like, wow. I mean, you know, it's good here. I mean, the blues community in all the major cities are really like a family. And that's very cool. And they're very supportive of new artists coming in. And they like to introduce them to different, you know, cities. But they're not like Europe. Europe goes crazy. I mean, on this album, I had a radio station in Belgium called Roots, can't remember what it was. But anyhow, they contacted me and go like, hey, we love your album. Send us 12 CDs. We're going to spotlight you all month. And then we're going to raffle off those CDs and for all the fans. And I'm going like, well, thank you so much. I mean, it's like, okay. I said, what is it going to cost? Well, you got to send them over here. Of course, it was $72 to send 12 CDs. Hey, it was worth everything. You know, that's not anything to you.
Oh my God. So
I'm so happy for them, you know, that they did that for me.
Mr. Richard Cagle, I think, you know, it goes back to the saying that music is global and it connects us all together. And for you to be able to say, hey, I put out a project and people from across the world, they're calling you saying, hey, could you send us some CDs? Like, what? CDs? What? It's like, That is amazing. And how does that make you feel as an independent artist who's still hitting the charts till this day?
I know it makes me, honestly, it just makes me feel so good that what it does, here, I have to say this too.
Okay.
So you write something that's kind of like painting a painting. You write it, it comes from you, it comes out of you, and you think it's good. I mean, you've already cultured it down to like, oh, craft this, around this way and everything. But when it's all said and done, you don't know if anybody's going to like it until all of a sudden you get that feedback. So, I mean, the Belgium station doing that. I mean, I've now got Australia, I've got I've got a lot of stations over there, but it's also grateful. I'm just so grateful for them. And then at the same time, when we hit the charts, actually, we were up to the charts on 3. We got up to 3. So we're moved up over the 7.
Oh,
but,
look,
we
I didn't get the call, but
we appreciate it though. I mean, it's just stations like you guys and that treat us well, and you appreciate the music, and that other people. And I'm just like anybody else. Some songs or some bands I don't care for. Some other ones I go like, oh my God, I keep watch all those ones. But at the same time, if you love the blues, you're gonna feel it. And then I think that everybody can feel my voice. They can feel the songs that I'm singing, and that's all I can ask. Let's just do that good.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Richard, speaking of your style, your vocal ability, okay. Do you have any like training or any vocal anything that can we're gonna definitely give it to God because we know that that's a gift that you have naturally. But did you have any vocal training or anything growing up?
Not really.
Ooh.
No. I just sang with a lot of bands. I sang with a lot of bands all through high school, even when college. In fact, I quit college because I was in such a great band, and we got to go traveling around. And even in high school, we got to, ZZ Top's really a big band. They weren't at they had to put out their first album, but they,
That's right.
Yeah, the same thing. I'm in high school, probably a senior, and ZZ Top comes out, and I guess their album had been on the radio for, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. And we get the call, hey, we want you to open up for them. All right, and I'm going like, we're opening up for ZZ Top? Okay.
Okay.
So that was my first time to get to meet Billy Gibbons and the boys. Oh, man. And people like that, they were just so nice. Billy Gibbons is just still nice. He's just a nice, beautiful person. And just come up and, hey, I liking what you do. Or, and things like that just means got to go. Got to keep going on. Got to keep trying.
Ooh. Your history in general is so inspiring. Speaking of inspiration, creativity, the way that you create your music. I know earlier in the interview you did mention that it took you almost 3 to 4 years just to find the right musicians that you feel comfortable and safe enough to create such an amazing body of work. When it comes to creating, I know that you're sitting in your lavish, amazing studio that you really specifically had for artists and yourself to be able to look out into the mountains and create. How do you describe your environment when you are creating, when you're writing a song, or how do you get in the zone?
Well, that's actually, it's like, you have to, the way it always works for me anyhow, I hear the music, then I start working on the melodic line. How's it going to flow? Where are we going to go with the melodic line? And then once I've kind of got that in a place, then it just starts flowing. I mean, like Dance, Dance, Dance on the new album. I mean, that's something I've never written, a kind of a poppy blues song, okay? Yet it makes people want to get up and dance. I guarantee you that. And so, but so I just, I don't limit myself. The only thing I have to come up with creativity is what's the story? Melodic line, I've got to have that so I can follow it. But then I can change that as I'm developing it as I do the song. But a lot of times, something that I come up with the very first time may be 50 to 80% will still be there. And I only had to craft a little bit in there, you know. So I don't know the answer to that. Although on this album, I will say this, I did a couple of things that I probably had never done. There's a song on there called Be With You. And that was Sean Allen. In fact, he still lives in Houston, love him to death. Very, very talented musician. And he used to manage, I think, Keisha Pratt. So they came up here during COVID. He calls me and go like, we got to get out of here. Can we come up and work in your studio for a couple of days or something? We're working on writing songs. I said, okay, if you can, I don't even know if you can get a hotel room, but if you can get a hotel room, yes, you can come up here and we'll work. And so they came up and most of their songs were pretty well developed. There were some that they still didn't have lyrics or ideas of what they're going. So I recorded them for about 3 days. And there was one of the songs that they didn't have lyrics. And so I never, to this day, I don't know what ended up in that song for them. But I bumped into Sean 2 years ago. Yeah, that's what it was. And in Memphis, all right. It was like at the Music Awards or the IBCs, International Blues Challenge. And so I bumped into him. We talking, drinking a couple of beers and all that. And I go, so that one song, I explained it to him. He goes, oh, yeah, yeah. I said, did y'all ever finish that? Did y'all even put the album out? What did you do? And he said, well, the album's not out, but we've got lyrics to all that and everything. I said, well, I never heard him, but can I work on that song? Will you give me permission to work on your song? Okay, since you already had all the music there. He goes, sure, I want to hear what you do. You got it. You go for it. And that one ended up being kind of a jazzy kind of blues. It's a slow song. It's a heartache by you're just now realizing you should have treated your girlfriend better, your wife better, whatever. And now you go like, I just now realized if you got the time, I'd like to be with you. And it's just, to me, it's just, and I sent it to Sean. Sean just loved it. He goes like, cool, man. So, he's going to get some royalties too.
There you go. I love that. Mr. Richard Cagle, this is such an amazing interview. I'm having such a great time with you. Let's talk a little bit about the foundation of where you are now, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself? Are you going to be doing more music? 5 years, what do you got?
Well, I'm thinking the record has done really good for us, okay? And I'm thinking, in all honesty, for anybody out there that's trying to figure out how, usually you get airplay for 3 to 4 months, okay? Every once in a while, you have something that sneaks out to 6 months. In fact, one of Nika Chambers' albums went for a whole year. In fact, she was in the charts never higher than 38 or 39 for a whole year. And of course, we won the best blues album that year, all right? Our production, her, and all that. So you never can tell what's going to go on, but we feel real confident about that. The majority, I've got 5 of the people that played on the album. They're all chomping at the bits. They're going like, so what can we do? And I said, let's let the story play out. All right. It's all the story. As it gets played more and more, and we get more and more reviews, now we have something. Because again, a lot of people up here in Ruidoso, that my little town, they know who I am, but they don't know who I'm at Santa Fe or Albuquerque or El Paso. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the band together, get it so tight, and then we'll start doing the regional. And then we'll probably come to Texas. We'll come in, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin. That means slip over New Orleans. They like me over there too. But yeah, but we'll start it and build it that way. And then I'm thinking, this one has done so good. Probably put out another album next year. All right. I mean, instead, yes. One thing I will tell everybody, I feel so sorry for everybody, all the musicians, because the streamings don't do anything for anybody. I mean, they ripped us off. They pay a .0001 every time you get played. I'm sitting there going, so, and then it's just a jungle out there. How does anybody even know to find you? I mean, that's right. Radio is the only way to go. I mean, if you're a rock band, I don't know what you're going to do. But if you're blues, we've got stations all over the world. So
that's right. I will also insert this for you, Mr. Cagle. Right here on Iconix Radio, we play our artists for one entire whole year. And we make sure that artists are able to talk about their songs before their record is played. So that way that the listeners can really build that relationship. So don't you worry, Mr. Richard. You got 365 days right here on Iconix Radio, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Without question.
You're so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Cagle, we're about to get ready to close this out with a bang. But before we go, I would love to know what are the words of encouragement that you have for the listeners that inspire to be just as great as you?
Do it. Just do it. All right, the thing is, we all had to start learning be on stage. Yeah, and you got to get comfortable with it. All right. And you got to expand your craft. But the thing is, don't let anybody stop you. If it's in your heart, by gosh, do it. Yes. And if you don't know how to record, don't be scared of that either. I can remember first time I went to studio, I was scared to death. Couldn't sleep the night before, and I was just probably, I don't know, 20 years old, and God, didn't know what to ask, didn't know what to, Finally, once I got past the first three, then I started getting to the point of going like, okay, this can be fun. Okay, like we're having fun. I can relax. Hell, I can recut that. It's no big deal, You learn how to do it. Most important thing. There's a lot of sloppy bands out there. Okay, don't be one of those. You win and you woodshed, whether it's in a little rehearsal room, your garage, wherever it is, and you work on it, you work on it, you work on it until other people go like, wow, how did you get that good? I'm like,
that's right.
Woodshedding. And don't be, anytime a bass player doesn't know what the note is going to be, woodshed it until he doesn't even have to think about it. And then the show, he can have more fun on stage. He's not worried about his playing. We're just putting out the best music you can. So that's.
Thank you so much, Richard Cagle. If you guys did not have your pen and paper taking notes, listen, hold on, because I have the question of the century for you, Richard Cagle. Preservation. How did you, or how do you preserve your voice? Because your voice is so amazing. You can hit some notes. Richard, I'm still trying to find them. I got to look up in the sky. How do you and how have you preserved your vocals for so long?
Not a very good job of it. I can honestly say. I mean, I'm not a big heavy drinker, but I do like to have a few beers. All right.
Yes.
I smoke cigarettes. Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm not an angel. Having said that, it's the emotion that I feel whenever we did a song. I mean, like on the last album, on the Dose album. Yes, there's stuff. In fact, we won a Best Blues Song New Mexico. It sounds like Led Zeppelin. All right. And people go like, how in the hell you do that? I go like, I feel it. Whenever I feel it, I can do it. Okay. Yes. And one of my best reviews on an album was out of LA. It was Hollywood Spotlight. And the guy called it right. He goes, this guy's a chameleon. I don't know how he does it. He's just a chameleon, and whatever he needs to get up that high, he can do it. But he can also bring it right down to where it's right at your belly, you know. And so,
Yes.
it's just what I do. If I can't feel it, I can't sing that.
Oh.
But if I feel it, then I want to try to emote you. I want the listener to hear it and go. And truthfully, you might take that cocktail, but whenever you get through your cocktail and you listen to the Zia Blues, you're going to go, wow.
That's right. Well, cheers to that.
All right.
Oh, this is just tea, guys, just in case you're wondering. Hey, Richard. Before we get ready to go, would you like to play a game?
Okay.
Okay. I know you got some help in there somewhere. Don't you worry, because I got faith in you, my dear. Okay. Mr. Richard pulled out his drink. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. All right, guys. Now, this is going to be a multiple choice game. So you will have an opportunity. If you have somebody in there, you need to say, hey, do you know this one? Hey, grab some help if you need it, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. All right, Mr. Richard Cagle. First question. Which city is often referred to as the home of blues? Is it A, Memphis, Tennessee, B, Chicago, Illinois, C, New Orleans, Louisiana, or D, St. Louis, Missouri?
I would say the first three. I don't know about St. Louis. I bet in fact, Chicago blues, everything's there. Memphis right now is the major point of all blues. Blues foundations there. But New Orleans, they've always been sweet to me. In fact, the first time we ever played at the House of Blues was in New Orleans. And then, yeah, and I've always been grateful.
So what's your answer, Mr. Cagle?
Oh, I got to come up with just one.
Just one.
Okay, I'm going to say Chicago.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
The answer is Memphis, Tennessee. But the winning city is definitely with it. Let's go. Okay, next question. Here we go. Who is known as the father of blues? Is it A, Muddy Waters, B, Robert Johnson, C, W.C. Handy, or D, B.B. King?
I love all of those. Robert Johnson.
Final answer?
Yep.
It is W.C. Handy. Somebody there sound like, hey, let's try again. All right, here we go.
All right.
You know this one. What instrument is most commonly associated with Delta blues? Is it A, the harmonica, B, the guitar, C, piano, or D, the saxophone?
Well, it's guitar.
And you better know it. That's right, Mr. Cagle, that is it. All right, here we go. What is the typical structure of a blues song? Is it A, 8-bar blues, B, 12-bar blues, C, 16-bar blues, or D, 4-bar blues?
B, 12-bar.
And you better know it. Let's go, Mr. Cagle. He's like, B, duh. You should know this. All right, here we go. Mr. Cagle, which famous blues artist sold their soul to the devil at the crossroads, according to the legend?
Yeah.
Was it,
Robert Johnson.
And it is Robert Johnson. That's how you got to end off the game. But I do have one for all of your fans. We all want to know. Richard Cagle, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I don't know, hamburger. I don't. I seem to have a lot of hamburgers or barbecue burgers or barbecue sandwiches. Yeah.
Barbecue sandwiches, that's what I'm talking about. Well, the fans will definitely, hopefully see you with a barbecue rib sandwich at the next show.
There we go. Thank you.
Well, guys, that is definitely been an amazing interview. Now, I know you mentioned earlier you was going to show us a little bit of the studio. Do you mind giving the viewers a little tour of your amazing establishment?
Sure. I'd love to. All right. So, can I unplug this?
Yeah, you can unplug it.
All right, hold on. All right. So, right here, we're in the console. This is our console. All right.
Yes.
See? Yeah, there's the preamps over there and all that. Here's some guitars. Guitars are everywhere. All right. So now we're going to come out here. This is out of the control room. Now here's our piano. Here's a Yamaha piano. All right. These are great. They're, great guitars there. Here's our drums. All right. Here's the drums. Here's the bass rig over there. Here's the microphones. These are all tube mics on vocals. And there's old Kurzweil over here. And then here's all of our amps. We got a lot of Fenders, got some Marshalls, Wagner's Line 6. And then here's the granddaddy of it all. This is a 1961 Hammond. And it just sounds so great in blues. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. Get the circumference. There's the control room going back around this way. And so it's not a giant studio. It just works perfect.
Wow. In the mountains of New Mexico. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got one last thing I want to show you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So any of you guys and gals who'd like to get out of town and come record, I want to show you why you should come up here. Not only am I pretty good at doing recording and producing,
to close out this interview, Richard Cagle, that studio is immaculate. I mean, anyone that can see with their own good two eyes can see that it's so much love and passion and a lot of musicianship that is well thought out, from the microphones to the Hammond. Oh my gosh, listen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Richard Cagle, this has been an amazing interview. I just want to say thank you so much for all that you have brought to the world, the listeners around, from Texas all the way to Europe and in between. We appreciate and we cherish artists and legends like yourself, because what would the blues be without Richard Cagle?
Well, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it, guys. Thank you for all your good work. Thank you for the interview, and wish you the very best.
God bless you guys. Richard Cagle is here, and now he's about to go back to his beautiful, lovely view in the mountains of New Mexico. We'll see you soon, Richard Cagle. And remember, guys, you can listen to Richard Cagle right here on Iconix Radio. Stay tuned and stay locked in, because there's more to come from the one and only Richard Cagle.
Thank you.
Bye.